Right, hi. So the first thing I want to do is kind of introduce you to the 21-day cleanse and how we're going to go about things and tell you who I am. Now, most of you know I'm Sean. I'm the owner of SC, and I'm here to hopefully get you through this 21-day cleanse and coach you and give you everything you kind of need. All right. So the question we always ask, what is the 21-day cleanse? It's a nutrition program using elimination protocols. It's based upon real high-end cutting-edge nutrition strategies, and it's designed to get rid of the toxins in the body using food as a means to do that. So better food choices. And it says there about melting on body fat and sculpting your body in 21 days. It can happen because you'll lose a little bit of quite a lot of water from water retention, but you'll also just feel brilliant because it's in a fun, interactive and a team environment. So the good thing with the program though, it fills the gaps in the health and fitness industry that's usually missing because of the support and the interaction you kind of need from each other. That really helps because we're doing it in a group setting. So, like I said, we're working alongside each other. Hopefully, this will push people along and help each other out by using regular posts on the group and things. And then you'll also be supporting each other because it will get difficult at times. So the thing with this 21-day cleanse, it's born out of like a lot of personal research by a clinical nutritionist called Dan Aguilera. And we've kind of had a chat, and I think it'd be really good for some people here because you'll understand what practically works for you, and you're going to get a result from this 21-day cleanse if you follow the protocols. The good thing as well, there's a real large education component, so you're going to learn a lot. And if you learn things and you've got a real general idea of how things work, you're going to put it into practice and you'll more than likely stick to it. So the thing with the cleanse, right, it's in two parts. You've got toxins and dealing with the toxin overload in our body. And the second part is the elimination of certain foods. And this is going to help us balance out our hormones. So the first part is the toxins. So the first thing I want to do is explore the concept of what we call dieting, and then you've got cleansing. So a lot of the time people diet because they want to try and lose weight, and they go on a diet and it works for a period of time. But what we haven't dealt with is the kind of toxicity in the body. And what I mean by that is they're probably eating in a calorie deficit and not eating great food. It just means they're eating less calories, so they do lose weight. So let me kind of show you how this is going to work here. So if I bring up this slide here, so we can assume at any one time you've got lots of toxins in your body, and these toxins go around into the fat cells, right? And when we start to diet, we lose body fat, but the toxins are still there. And because the toxins are still there, they have to find somewhere to go. And because you've got a smaller body, they tend to take up everything in the smaller body. The body then says, don't like this. And it makes itself get bigger again because you eat a little bit more food because you want to feel comfortable because the toxins are making you feel a little bit more imbalanced with your hormones. So you start to eat a bit more, you put on fat, then the toxins start to reduce a little bit. Not because they're reducing in size, but because your body's getting bigger, they're then reducing the area that they are covering. I hope that kind of makes sense about the toxins there. So essentially what the toxins are doing, there's a larger area in a smaller body than there is in the same area in a larger body. All right, and that's why you're going to put on a bit of weight when you're doing the rebound effect. So this is the difference with the cleansing. So with cleansing, what essentially happens is you're going to eat better foods. So you'll start fat, and the better foods will be in a calorie deficit like your diet. But because of these better foods, you're going to eliminate these toxins from your body because you're eating foods that don't cause toxicity, and you're not doing things that are causing toxicity. And then when you get to a point where you've lost the weight, you're less likely to rebound because your body is feeling in a better place. Hormonally, it's more balanced, right? And we know we always feel better when we eat fruit, veg, salad and good healthy fats and drink lots of water because it flushes everything out. This is just a real kind of sharp shock to the system that's really going to help you. All right, so like I said, you may go outside and get more toxins in your body when you've done this elimination diet, but because you're at such a low level from doing the elimination side of things, you're not going to go up to the point where you've got too many toxins in your body, which is going to make you rebound. And that is why cleansing the body with food is so important. So what is a toxin? A toxin is anything that causes irritation. So you can see the list of stuff here. These are just a few of the things that causes these irritations, and you can look the top of the list: food, sugar, caffeine, alcohol. You've got drugs, nicotine. If you go down to the bacteria stuff, that's where probiotics may come in. So these are the things that can cause toxicity in the body and make you essentially crave the wrong type of foods and therefore put on a little bit of weight. So these are the problems that can relate to toxicity, right? You can read the list. I can leave the list up there. You can look at it. You can pause the video now. So I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2, pause the video, have a look. I don't pretend to know what all of them are, but I do know that they're not very good. So the benefits of detoxing using food. The benefits enhance as you go through this process. So when you're cleansing and like on day 7, you've cut out wheat, gluten, dairy, processed food, alcohol and sugar, you start to seeing a result. And the results get better as you go farther and farther away from these things that are causing toxicity within your body. With the fasting side of it, which we're going to go into in a minute, the minute you eat, the body knows it's in a fed state. So the benefits start from scratch when we start fasting again. So if you're eating really good food, from the minute you start eating, your body's getting the benefits, all right? So there's one thing that I want to give you as a little bit of advice. If you feel really rubbish during your fasting, so you're fasting and you feel lightheaded, lack of energy, the reason it's called breakfast is because you're breaking the fast. Break it a little bit early with some nuts and fruit. Don't do it with a chocolate bar. That means essentially you've broken the fast a little bit early, but you're starting still with cleansing foods. Now, if you break the fast with a chocolate bar, which isn't a great thing, you don't just start from the next day again cleansing your food with clean food. You have to start from day 1 right again. So say you've done 7 days and you have a nutty bar on day 8, you have to start everything all over again. So please, I implore, I ask, if you get to those days where you're feeling a little bit lightheaded, use some nuts and fruit to get yourself moving again, all right? But that is only if you need to break the fast. If you don't need to break the fast and you can go with it, just go with it. But remember, tomorrow is another day. Just start with the cleaner foods and break with fruit and nuts. So these are the elimination protocols we talked about. So let's talk about it. So elimination protocol is put together to get rid of all the foods that create this hormonal imbalance within the body. We have lots of different hormonal structures within the body, and any time you have any of these foods, it causes a problem. Now, any food creates a hormonal shift, but foods that are like, caffeine, wheat, dairy, gluten causes a bigger shift in this. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut out wheat and gluten completely. A high percentage of people have a dairy intolerance, so we're going to cut out that as well. Now, sugar raises blood sugar levels, produces insulin, and that's why it can make us carry body fat. So we're going to get rid of some of that. Salt dehydrates the body. Alcohol, it poisons the liver and sends huge toxins around the body. So that's not great. What else have we got on here? Alcohol, red meat, because that can lay in the digestive tract for a long time, longer than kind of your fishes and your white meats. And processed foods, if you're leaving something on the side, right, and a week later it still looks the same, that's a processed food and probably not great for you. If you leave something on the side and it goes off after 3-4 days, you know that food's generally or probably not processed. So they're the foods you stick to, but make sure you eat them on day 1 and not day 4. Right, and then the one that we've talked about, caffeine. Caffeine can increase cortisol levels, a stress hormone. Sometimes it's good waking up with caffeine, sometimes might help, but during this elimination protocol, you need to eliminate caffeine from your diet completely. So these are the things we are talking about eating, right? So I'm just going to put the list up here now so you can have a look at it as I talk about it. Where are we at? So things such as white meat, fish, fruit, vegetables, salads, nuts, olive oil and water are all good for us on the cleanse. They're all good foods. An important point to remember about nuts though is that any one portion is kind of like only 6 nuts. I'm talking about cashews, almonds, not peanuts, because that's the fat your body requires. Because remember, we're talking about fulfilling your nutrient palette. Your body needs and uses a certain amount of food for everyday function. So if you overeat that, you're just going to put on weight. And particularly with nuts. Nuts are really calorific, high in calories, and probably one of the highest calorific foods that are good for you. So make sure you cut it down to just 6 nuts. So the thing I'm just saying, be prepared, keep your prep time down to a minimum, as it's to make it as easy as possible to prepare extra dinner and extra lunch kind of for the next day. Keep it simple. Treat your food as it's feeding your body. The nutrients it needs, and look at it as using it for fuel and for your system and what it needs. Don't look at it as flavors just for this 21 days. Just look at it as fuel to see how you feel with it. So this is what your day is going to look like in fasting. So with a 24-hour in the day, you're going to do a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour feed. It's called a feed as we're feeding the body what it needs only, right? That's all we're feeding it. In an ideal world, you want to create kind of patterns of behavior with your body, same as you do in your life, so that your body knows what it is when it's feeding. So when you're feeding, it knows it. And then when you're fasting, it knows it because it's in the routine. And this happens day to day. Now, the thing is, like I said, you run your life through patterns of behavior. The body likes it and your mind likes it. So try and get in a consistent pattern with it. So the reason for the meal times are at 12, 4 and 8. It's essentially, we assume that people are going to wake up at 7 and go to work and go to bed at 10:30. And it makes sense for the fasting to be between 10:30 and 12 p.m. at night. So when you're asleep, that's when you want to do most of your fasting. And the reason for this, you know, if you try to fast like too much during the day, so say you fasted all the way through the day, you are going to get the munchies. You're going to struggle. You're going to be wanting food. You're going to want to put a hand in the biscuit tin. The same as like if you ate all day and stopped eating at 4 to fast from 4 o'clock for 16 hours, you're going to be in the biscuit tin at night once again because it's not going to be great. Now, the thing is, these times are individual. You pick the times that you need that suits you in line with your work. This has been picked for somebody that works 9 to 5. We couldn't actually select everybody, but try and pick a time that suits and works. This is where you're going to figure out how you're going to feel and what's going to work for you. So fed state versus fasted state. So through this cleanse, right, of eating good foods, what you're going to do is balance the hormones in your body. And one of the hormones that we want to balance is ghrelin, right? This is your hunger hormone. And this is the key one that we need to get in balance. So when you're in a fasted state, your ghrelin levels are balanced. They're on point. The neurons in your brain in the pituitary gland are far more alert. And when we eat a meal and we're in a fed state, so we're full, we're generally not as alert and awake, particularly when we've eaten rubbish foods. When we're in this fed state, what tends to happen, we want to be fed again. And we're looking at food all the time. We're trying to look around to see. So the 16-hour fast is going to help us balance out the ghrelin levels, your hunger hormone, so your body is more alert and functioning better. And who doesn't want to be functioning better? So these are your daily practices and the things that we need to be doing every day. So we need to be looking at drinking 4 litres of water a day. I put 2.5 to 3 litres for some, but some of you will need a little bit more. And 4 litres can be quite a hard task. Stretch and mobilise. Use the stuff on the app. Stretch, mobilise, come in for a session, do move sessions. Moving more is going to help to get these toxins eliminated from your body, especially stretching and mobilising, not just working out to excess, because that can increase your cortisol levels. Get the muscles opened up, get the hips opened up, and make sure you're doing it the right way. Cold shower. Make sure you have your cold shower at 10 o'clock at night if you're going to bed at 10:30, because sleep, rest and recovery patterns that we all need are one of the most effective ways, especially at a cellular health level, to feel really good, right? Not smashing yourself all the time. A lack of sleep will increase the stress hormone cortisol as well as other terrible bad hormones in your body. So if you want to be really good as well, don't look at your phone before you go to bed after you've had your cold shower. Don't go on social media, think you're going to miss out on something. And then the last kind of thing, well, not last thing, but while you're in the shower, try exfoliate and get a scrubby brush to exfoliate your skin and get rid of all those toxins that are around the body from being outside. Right, the results. So I've just put up this slide here because these are the results that Dan got over 12 months with people, and they're the average kind of weight loss. Like I said, it is some water loss, but the idea of it is to make you feel better, and that's what I'm after, to make you feel better. So they are an amazing results averagely. Some people are quite big, so they will lose a lot more weight than somebody who's a little bit smaller. Don't focus on this too much. Focus on your own result and your own measurements. So the last but not least slide. This program has been put together over 14 to 15 years of research by Dan. So please don't change it. He's a clinical nutritionist. Follow the process that he's put together, because it's been many years of trial and error, and he's tested everything. He's even done it on himself on numerous occasions over 4 days, 8 days, 10 and 21 days to get to the point where it is now, which delivers the best results in the quickest amount of time. And it will make you feel absolutely fantastic. Now, a lot of these things aren't easy. Something as simple as drinking 4 litres of water in one day is not going to be easy. So set yourself some time. Say by midday, I'm up at say 6. By midday, 6 hours, I'm going to have drunk 2 litres of water. And then try it again for the next 6 hours. Or sip. And keep sipping water and see how it works for you. Find out what works for you on this, guys, because some of the stuff is very, very simple, very effective, but it still doesn't mean it's relatively easy. So I'm with you on this one, guys. We can do it. You can do it. If you've got any questions, please let me know.